Yeah. Oh, wow.
Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen. It's 6:33, and let's call the City Council of the City of Universal City to order. Call for a quorum check.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Here.
Councilmember Putt. Here. Councilmember Rubal.
Here.
Councilmember Shelby.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Super. The invocation tonight is going to be presented by Councilmember Shelby, and I will lead us in the pledge.
Yeah, I'd like to invite Mike Signs up to help me out this evening. Thank you.
Shelby, you need all the help you can get.
I need so much help.
Lord, precious Father, thank you so much for the opportunity to gather as a family and pray to you, Father. And Father, number one, we pray to you because you're the Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth, and that includes Universal City. We thank you what you've given us here. These members that serve, take their time to serve. Their families serve right behind them, Father. We ask for your blessings on them and your continued blessing that they would take Universal City in the right direction. Lord, bless the city staff, bless the beautiful people that run Universal City, and Lord, most of all, bless the people that take care of us. Our policemen, our fire department, each and every unit that we have that takes care of us, Father, be with them every day and bless them. Father, we ask for your blessings for Universal City as a whole in your precious name, Father. And all God's children said,
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much. Let's be seated. First up, the citizens to be heard. We have one person signed up this evening, and that's former Mayor Williams, John Williams, if you'd like to come up.
Give me a second. I'll get here.
Doing great.
Mayor, Council, I just want to make a big shout out tonight. I've been reading a lot of things on social media over the last couple of weeks, or maybe almost a month, about city public service, about CPS, program they call home assessment. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. For our citizens, I want them to know that the naysayers out there, it's not true. They came to visit my house the other day. They inspected the entire house to look for potential things that could be improved upon. They replaced every single LCD light that I did not have in my home, every one. And they even added more because I have a tall chandelier and they couldn't reach up there. William could probably reach up. So they even left bulbs for that. Surge protectors, somebody's going to come and look at the HVAC system. And so I just wanted to really shout out to CPS. This is what they've done, and they're offering to our community, to our citizens, is great. And I sure hope that the bad rumor mill goes away, and that's why I wanted to say I give 100% support to what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That was all on citizens to be heard. Next on the agenda, staff reports and other discussion items. Manager report, city manager report.
Thank you, sir. Neither I nor the staff have any reports this evening.
Well, super. Let's kind of move into public hearing. No one has actually signed up for public hearing, but I'm going to open up the public hearing in a few minutes for the proposed FY 2025-2026 budget. And I will open it now at 6:35.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Now, you've actually already seen this PowerPoint, but I wanted to be sure that if any citizens hadn't seen it, that they were able to have the information as well. So the fiscal year, thank you. The fiscal year 2026 budget highlights are that the cost of living adjustment has been added to the budget for staff, for existing staff, sorry. No additional staffing is being requested this fiscal year, and the cost of our insurances are expected to increase by approximately 35%. That would be healthcare primarily. General fund highlights also include items that were reduced or deferred, The space needs assessment has been deferred to a future year. Summit Park and Skate Park planning has been deferred for a future year. Oil and lubricants, we've reduced the line item from 55,000 to 30,000. The fire department utility vehicle, which was originally budgeted for 90,000, it has been deferred, and then also they've determined that they can get something that's less expensive, so they're going to be budgeting 70,000 in the future budget. The fire department Opticom preemptive system, which is $55,000 annually for a 10-year contract, has been deferred for a future budget. The general fund revenue is anticipated to be $20,532,029. Tax revenue represents 78% of this revenue, with ad valorem at $9.2 million, sales tax $3.9, franchise fees $1.3, and then we'll be moving from the venue tax $1 million this next fiscal year. I know you're all aware that the general fund has 15 departments that are listed here. For next slide, please. For fiscal year 26, we had 4 departments that had decreases within their budgets. General services decreased by $196,000. It was primarily related to signal maintenance and grant matches. The animal shelter, $93,000, which was contract services and vehicle-related costs. The library is $13,000, which was related to technology services, and then the finance department by just under $10,000 for audit costs. And then on the opposite side of that, we did have a few that had minor increases. Well, non-departmental was $364,000. This was primarily related to the health insurance increases in cost. The police department was $318,000. This was salaries, contract services, supplies, and maintenance. The fire department, $111,000, which was related to the EMS funding that was approved by or presented to council in June from the Sheriff's EMS, thank you. Vehicle maintenance is an $8,000 increase. This is related to training for diagnostic equipment. And human resources is $20,000 related to FMLA EEOC claims software. Utility fund, we're anticipating to be revenues received of $12,648,000, expenditures $11,440,000, and then it breaks down all the departments there, and they have 5 departments within this fund. Stormwater total revenues are anticipated to be $941,000, total expenditures $766,000. The golf course highlights is we added a 5-year capital replacement schedule within the budget. And then in the summaries, expenditure summary, you'll see at the bottom we've created a department that is for capital outlay. So golf carts, other leased vehicles that they might have, repairs to the golf course. That way it's a little more transparent so they know exactly what those capital items are. And we anticipate the budget to be $3,999,726. This does include a small use of fund balance of approximately $50,000. The debt service, we anticipate the revenue for debt service to be $1.9 million, interest $53,000, and use of fund balance of approximately $320,000. And you'll see the bonds listed below with their expiration dates. The total was $2,221,000 in bond payments. Utility fund debt service is supported by water sales revenue, and we have our bonds listed below. Capital improvement for the general fund is street bond reconstruction, which is $5.6 million. The CDBG improvements for fiscal year 24 and 25 are $500,000. This is money we received from Byrd County CDBG, and there's a small match that's required from the city. A list of the streets that are going to be worked on are listed below in red. Capital improvement utility fund is sewer line rehab, property acquisition, water tank painting, and then the annual water and sewer line rehab projects. And then for our capital improvements for stormwater, it's Civil Oak Creek property clearing and fencing, Oak Meadows drainage project, and brush cleaning. Now, within the special revenues, we have 14 funds now. Last year we had 13. The state is now requiring that we have an additional fund that consolidates the court technology and the court security. So we have a total of 14. And then the next one, please. The venue tax fund, we're anticipating the revenue to be 1.9 million. Transferred to the general fund will be $1 million to offset part of the Parks and Recreation's budget. Transfer 101,800 to the golf course for the capital purchases of golf carts, and the remaining $800,000 to stay in the venue tax fund until CIP projects for the golf course are approved. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Kristen. Is there any chance that we can reduce council's budget in this by getting rid of the gala fees of $7,000 and even sacrificing the council message board? It appears to be not used by the majority of council, so that would be close to $10,000. And that would be very helpful. The other thing that I had asked staff last time had to deal with the billboard fee. The billboard fee still remains essentially dedicated to the golf course in this budget. Did you get a legal review on whether the billboard fee could actually be used by the general fund? I've submitted all the documentation except for a reference council document that maybe Mr. Shelby had made reference to earlier that does not preclude that in any way.
I can answer that. Mr. Rubal, you put that question before your fellow council members to have that discussion on the agenda, and the answer was no. So we have done nothing with that. It sits where it is. We've had no direction from City Council.
Okay,
and there's no need for a legal review. It's the city's money. You can put it wherever you want it.
Then can we not put it in general fund?
You can put it in the general fund. You can put it in the golf fund, which is what you did, which was somebody decided to do that. I mean, the EDC was the one that negotiated that. You could give it to the EDC. It's superfluous to the overall discussion of the budget. I know it's a sticking point for you. I don't understand why.
Trying to protect the general fund from increasing ad valorem taxes for the residents that affects residents and essentially businesses throughout the city. We're no, hang on just a second.
I have a point of order here.
This is supposed to be the public hearing, not our discussion. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's a general discussion. This is not beat to death. We discussed the venue tax, and your portion of it has already been discussed in prior council meetings and is not relevant to here.
Sir, in October 2024, you delayed this discussion and kept delaying this discussion since October 2024.
I didn't discuss it. It's about the council. The council related. So, do you have a question to answer the question? Do you have a question to ask?
Okay, so, yes. Number two, is it not true that the hotel tax can be used to offset expenses of the convention center and the golf course?
The hotel motel tax can be used again for marketing. It has to be used in some form that will bring heads to beds. I know that's vague, but that's the direction that's been given from the comptroller's office. That it has to be something that you can say, well, this would potentially bring persons to the city that are not from Universal City that may stay in the city. And so
Yes, ma'am.
it could be used for marketing, yes.
understood, but they can also be used to support the head and beds associated with venue operations in the city too, venue enterprises. You
I guess
just,
it would depend on the venue, sir.
it's called the Golf Course and Convention Center.
Yes, sir, and I just answered that question. That yes, if we can say that it brings heads to beds, then yes, it can be used for marketing of the golf course. There is some anomaly within the documents that says that it can be used for improvements, but it's quite vague.
So again, your interpretation is only marketing, not improvements now.
Well, that's not what I said, sir. I said something that could bring heads to bed. So if it's an improvement to the golf course, that could potentially bring additional persons in, then you could most probably say that's a possibility. For instance, I think maybe repairs to the bridal area. Again, it's a fine line, but if it's bringing additional weddings to the city that would be using the hotel, then it's a possibility, but I think that would have to be a council call. That wouldn't be something that I would go
Because the
comfortable with.
increase is under $25,000, thereabouts. The increase is approximately $125,000 in the hotel tax for this year. It's up to $225,000 going to advertising.
Yes, sir. It's going to marketing the golf course. For instance, if they were to purchase golf, what is it called? I don't know what they're called, the golf club covers? Yes?
Covers.
Thank you. Or the divot cover things. If they had Olympia Hills on there, they would be considered a marketing tool for the golf course. So it's not just internet marketing, it's marketing in some form that could potentially bring people to Universal City.
The last question is, it is your considered opinion that it's the time to move to decrease the administrative overhead to the golf course by $100,000-ish or something similar to that?
So when we met with you, we advised you that we had decreased the overhead administrative expense. That we had got some direction primarily from Mr. Vaughan, but it was discussed here at council that we should do it based on what they would pay in the open market. So we went out and did that, and we found that it would be less if they did it in the open market. So we reduced the administrative transfer from the golf course to the general fund.
And the color of the money is that overhead went to the general fund where other golf course funds cannot. For example, in this proposal, $800,000 in the venue fund is awaiting further direction from city council. So we can't use any more of that venue fund because it's committed. Is that correct?
There's no commitment, sir.
So basically,
All we're saying is $800,000 is going to be in the venue tax fund. We would hope the council would allow us to use it for improvements to the golf course. And that would be a council decision in the future. That's why we say that it's $800,000. We're hoping to be able to use for improvements to the golf course. But if council chooses not to do so, then we would have to find another way.
so it could be a $200,000 shift into the pot.
You mean pull the general
So that there's no
fund,
tax increase.
add in transfer out of venue tax?
Are you saying move additional funds from venue tax to the general fund?
For admin transfer?
No. We moved money from the venue tax because of the arrangement that was set up previously to linear parks. Linear parks then offsets the general fund.
Correct.
So the amount of money going to linear parks essentially results in a net gain in the general fund. So the simple question is, can the money, that part of that $800,000, given the fact that there's an administrative overhead cut, given the fact that you can't use $80,000 in billboard fees to the general fund, can not $200,000 be allocated more to linear parks to offset the ad valorem tax increase that's proposed?
We would have to be cautious because the budget for the parks can't be exceeded. If they get grants during the fiscal year, it would be considered double dipping of the tax. So the answer would be if that's what council chose to do.
Thank you very much. I'm very clear, and I think other members of the council are very, very clear on that. And Mr. Mayor, I'll have a motion at the end of this discussion.
So this is for the public. This is for the public.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Before we
No,
go for the public, I got out. Okay. Is anybody, any other comments from council? Okay. We're open to the public. If anybody would like to address this issue or have any discussions or questions or anything that are welcome to come up now. And 1, 2, 3, 4. It is closed at 6:51.
Mayor, can you reopen that invitation?
I'm fixing to open up another one and the same, under the same genre, and I think it may probably fill up either. Public hearing proposal 2025 tax rate to support the FY 2025-2026 budget. Before I open public hearing, would you like to address the council with information? Any additional information?
Well, no, sir, it's exactly the same. but
Okay,
We will go
then-
through it very quickly. So on August 5th, we presented this presentation. Property tax is a key source of revenue for local governments. And the Texas Municipal League reports that property tax revenue is greatest contributor to the city's general fund maintenance and operation expenses. So the tax rates that were given to us by the tax appraisal district are listed here. We're proposing a tax rate of 5.3, which is affectionately known as the Goolsby rate. If you know, it is less than the no new revenue tax rate, which is 5.34103. Okay. Between 2019 and 2024, the total tax rate declined by approximately 8.7 cents, from 0.6014 to 0.5144. The maintenance and operation portion decreased by about 4.9 cents, and the interest and sinking portion dropped roughly 3.7 cents. For calendar year 2025, fiscal year 2026, the total tax rate is projected to increase slightly by about 1.5 cents to 5.5300. Overall, from calendar year 2019 to 2025, the total tax rate net decrease has been approximately 7.1 cents. So how property tax rate changes impact the city? For every 1 cent that is decreased or increased, it represents $200,000 in either revenue or less revenue for the city. And then on the opposite side, how does that affect a homeowner, or how does a 1 cent affect a homeowner? A 1 cent increase or decrease in the tax rate is equal to approximately 83 cents per month, or $10 a year. For a $100,000 home, an example of a home value of $300,000 would see a change of approximately $2.49 per month, or $30 per year. The change that we're currently presenting, the 1.5, would represent about $45 for a home of $300,000 annually. Just things that that I'm hoping you'll consider are ARPA funds that support the police and fire mental health officers will be fully exhausted by the end of this fiscal year. City growth will drive increased demand for additional staffing. The consumer price index stands currently at 3% and is aligned with the proposed budget for fiscal year 2025 or 2026. The ad valorem tax rate has decreased approximately 7 cents from 2019, which is equal to $1.4 million in revenue. And that would be a revenue loss to the city. For every 1 cent reduction in the property tax rate, it takes at least a year for the city to recover the lost revenue, assuming that the property values remain stable. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Fixing to open up the public hearing, and this is for the public to respond. Council may respond after we close that meeting, and we'll have a discussion. It is 6:55. Public open record is open meeting is now open, and I do have one person who signed up, John Williams, who signed up. My apologies, Ed. Maybe over here.
My comment, Mr. Mayor and Council, is that very simple. There's been a constant decline, and that's great. We can afford it. But we went through this many, many years ago where we kept cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, and all of a sudden, we got to the point where, OMG, we had to make up for it. We had to make some really tough decisions. I see in the budget, I think the budget is phenomenal. I think what staff has done, what you all have done working on the budget is really, really good. And I no problems with the tax rate, I think it's fine. But I just want to throw a little caution shot out there. We continue to decrease it, which is, if we can, terrific. But sometimes we don't want to get to that point where we're going to have to take an abrupt turnabout, an abrupt about face and say, whoops. You know, I looked at the numbers there, and the numbers look good right now, but there's a potential that in the future, if something happens, are we going to be prepared to handle it? So I applaud you for what you're doing. I think it's terrific. It's going to raise more tax money just because of the new, obviously the new buildings that are going on, new homes being built. And just throw a caution out there. Okay, that's all I got.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the council? Mr. Peel?
I'm Mayor Billy Hill, and as I've only participated in Universal City out of the 20 years I've been here, it's only less than 5 years. But as I try to learn in those few years, and particularly in the venue of taxes, increase, decrease, and how they affect, and I'm trying to understand that to where, to begin with, I guess, and I know y'all can't answer this, so my comment is I assume that a retired individual such as myself and many, many others in Universal City, I'm not saying it's irrelative, but I think we in that age group are not as affected by these $10 a year or 1 penny tax increases or particularly decreases, because our taxes are, quote, frozen in many areas. I'm not accurate in that. I'm just taking that into consideration because I understand in Universal City the majority are, or not the majority, but quite a few people are retired. Two, I echo Mayor Williams' comment to where, as a business person for 55 years, we do deserve to cut hay when the sun shines, meaning that I'm not saying everything's perfect and great, but with all of the amount of improvements that I've seen these last few years, and with the help of Rubal and the rest of them to make sure we all hold point to that context, I think y'all have done a phenomenal job, particularly in the area that we're talking about, and that's the taxes from when I was watching Mr. Williams, all the challenges we had in the past. And then the set B to the part of that, this is what I don't understand as a businessman and an individual and a resident. I know that discussion with council and city and the manager and all the departments has to be somewhat public. But I also understand that any one of y'all can come in any day of the month and answer what I think is not trivial questions, Councilman Rubal, but important ones. But do it when 80% of the time is available to y'all. Get the answers, understand them before you bring them to this public venue. It makes us look stupid that either we're not educating y'all, much less us dumb people, and we sit here and listen to what I call the bickering and the bidding, when those questions can be answered, documented, and come to a conclusion, an agreement, or at least a consensus, before you enter into this public venue. Sorry. That's how I used to work in the 20th century. So, thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Anyone else like to stand up and The rest of the council? 1, 2, 3. At 7 o'clock, we will close the public hearing. And now I will address for any council comment. Yes, Ms.
So
Pat.
we're talking pennies. We're talking $45 a year on a $300,000 house, approximately between $30 and $45 a year. So we're talking dollars a month. So for those dollars a month, I'm getting the best fire department, best police department. I'm getting the best public works who is on call all the time. I'm getting animal control. I'm getting library. I'm getting city hall. I'm getting on and on and on. This is the biggest bang for my buck. I don't want to see any of those services go down. Inflation is going up. Everything is costing our city more and more and more. And we have great directors who are trying to figure out how to lower their money to fight inflation. That's a hard thing to do, but they're doing it. How many departments did we just have that really cut their expenses? And we're gonna spend all this time talking about pennies a month. And yes, I do agree. We have a lot of military, retired, over 65. They're getting disability. They're getting, our taxes have been frozen for 11 years now. Thank you God, but my daughter is paying my end of the taxes. I have not heard from anyone under 65. Not one person has come up for me who is under 65 and say they can afford the $40 a year to have these services. I'm just saying, apples to oranges. It's really lovely to be able to cut, but there's a time when the turnip doesn't have any more juice. And let's just be reasonable what we're getting for our money. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Shelby?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So when I think about circa 2015, 2017, 16, 17, when I first got on council the first time around, we didn't have the 65 and older freeze. And the city was coming to council to request the maximum that we could get at that time. Every year, it was about 7%. Every single year. I think we did it six years in a row, 7%. And that's with no limitation on 65 and older, right? So the fact that we are now looking at a tax increase, not being able to capture revenue from any new revenue from individuals who are 65 and older, and all the city is coming to us for is up 1.5% to make things work seems extremely reasonable. Now I know right before I left the first time, I think maybe a few years prior, the state limited the city to a maximum of 3%. If you didn't use it, you could stack and you could do larger increases later on. But the state came in and said, we're not going to let the city take 7% anymore. So we were already trying to figure out how we were going to deal with the fact that we were hurting for money at that time. We were still trying to get caught up, and now we couldn't ask for more than 3% without submitting it to the citizens. We can do more than that anytime we want to, but it has to go to a citizen vote for the entire city. The council can't approve above those limitations. But I still come back to the fact that, and I don't have the numbers, and I'm not going to guess the numbers of how many people's taxes were frozen a few years back, and take that revenue that can no longer be captured, additional revenue that can be captured from those individuals, and shift that to everybody else in the city who is under 65 or has a secondary residence or has a business. If I'm remembering that correctly. It's tied to your homestead. So yes, there are people who are 65 and older who may have a second property and their rates aren't frozen on that second property, or they may own a business and that business is going to still that increase. But regardless, that is having to be spread across everybody left who can absorb that cost increase. And I come back to the fact that we're asking for $0.015, 1.5%. That seems extremely reasonable in this day and age with the amount of cost increase out there in the world because, and I think, I've heard the argument, but when I go and I buy something from a store, from Home Depot, from the pool store, when I go buy something from HEB, from Walmart, anywhere, all those prices have gone up. The city is feeling that too, not just us. And so I expect the city to need more money to cover the cost increases that we're feeling. And so they're taking that. You've seen what we're having removed out of the budget to try and absorb that. We're trying to do the best we can with the money we have, not cutting services, not reducing the quality of life for our citizens in the city. And then all the city does in return is ask for those people who are willing to pay or who are able to pay more tax increases to come up with 1.5% more this year. Hopefully next year we don't need to do that. I don't know. But that's why we do this every year because it constantly changes. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but that's basically it, really what it comes down to. 1.5%, where in the past we've seen 7% increases in order to make the ends meet. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else have any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things. Point of information, I'm actually looking at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics data right now, and I quote, the all items index rose 2.7% for the 12 months ending July, after a 2.7 rise over the last 12 months ending in June. So the cost of living index, as per the consumer price index for all urban consumers, is stated to be 2.7 rather than 3%. Social Security quotes it for 2025 as 2.5%, but their reporting times may be a little bit different. Number two, Mr. Mayor, we have salaries in our city that are in excess of $250,000. We have median incomes for our residents of between 38 and individual incomes of between $38,000 and $42,000. I would strongly suggest that essentially the tournament that's being drained of blood is not the city. That's our residences and businesses, and we should do everything to protect the way that they manage their own money. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Appreciate it. Anybody else have any comments? Mr. Bond.
I just say that it's really hard to ask for more money if there's a way that we can do it without having to ask for more money. And that's where I get stuck. And I know it's not a large increase, and we're kind of focused on the $40 that we're asking people to pay, but really, we're already at a high tax rate, so that kind of ignores the base that we're at. So if you said that you paid a penny more at the gas pump today, you say, well, that's not that much. I'm fine with that. But if you paid $10 per gallon yesterday, then you're already paying a little bit more than you need to. You know, we've cut the tax rate 7 cents over the last 5 or 6 years, but that really didn't lead to less revenue because our property values have gone up so much. So we're still collecting all the revenue. I just think we have a way to maybe not cut it like I'd like to, but maybe just not ask for an increase, not have to cut services, and there'd be a way to pay for that without having to change much in the budget. So I'm hoping that we can take that seriously. Thank you.
Any other comments? Mayor Pro Tem.
I just agree with Councilmember Putt and Shelby and their comments, but the one thing that I did want to highlight is last week you saw Ken Taylor hand us a handout but didn't talk about what was on it. And in that was a statement, just kind of making us aware of what Councilmember Shelby's point was, is that they really did cut and cut and cut, and then they were at a point where they had to increase taxes so much for so many years, and that was hard to sit up here every year over year and raise taxes at the maximum level. And he really encouraged us to be very prudent and not getting to that position again. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any other comments? Before I close out and move forward, I just want to make this statement. There is a very valid way to reduce property taxes assessment to the citizens. That's by collectively getting behind our businesses and showing that we support our businesses and encouraging retail operations. And some of the programs we have, like in the Union Plaza, that's mixed usage, getting into the aviation program and backing it and showing that we actually back our businesses and increasing the people coming in and the revenues coming in by increasing their sales will increase our tax revenue. Retail tax revenue goes up, we can take the property tax down. Take a look over at Selma, look at Live Oak. They are able to support a lot of things because they have a lot of retail business. We do have a program, I just mentioned two of them, and other programs. So getting a positive attitude behind that program. And how do we do that? By taking care of a business that needs to be done today. That's just my take. I don't get a vote unless there's a topic. With that being said, this is closed. We're moving over to announcement, and we'll start out with city manager announcements.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of them. The Kitty Hawk Emergency Access Road is open. One little faux pas, somebody put it on the mapping system, not on Google Maps, but on another mapping system, and it's gotten picked up. So unfortunately, there are a few people who are mistaken and they think it's a shortcut from Schertz or Selma to Universal City. Then they get down there and they find out the gate is not going to let them through. So we're working through that, and I've reached out to Google and some of the other mapping to get that changed. Also, if you haven't been in front of the Walmart, the roundabout is open. If you would like to take a couple of laps around that and get off at Walmart, you cannot go to the Chick-fil-A property.
Can we take a look?
You can lap around that and get used to it now while there's not a lot of traffic. And those are the two items I wanted to report, Mayor. Thank you.
Do we have an anticipated date with opening up Chick-fil-A?
Yes, sir, and they've asked us not to announce it.
Okay, got it. I'm going to start out with my comments today. Actually, it's really good news. We got our newest Universal City Eagle Scout. And he's going to come up, Mr. Evan Avery. He's going to come up front, going to describe and discuss his Eagle project that he used and completed. And it was basically involving our veterans. Eagle Scout, address here.
This way.
This way.
Address the council.
Address the council. Address the council.
My name's Evan. I am currently a senior in high school, and I am a new Eagle Scout of Troop 226. My recent Eagle Scout project was to create 2 flag retirement boxes. One is at our local VFW, and the other is at our local library. It involved me going and getting fundraising. I got fundraising from the Quorum Home Depot. They were a lot of help. They supplied me with all of the building materials. They completely covered the cost. And the Sherwin-Williams, right here in Universal City, they were absolutely awesome. They provided me with all of the paint, no cost, and they were super kind. And I gathered a team of volunteers, some from our troop, but mostly from friends at school. And we set out a build date, and we built the 2 boxes. I led them to build and paint them. And we had them delivered to the VFW and the library, so they are both there and ready to accept flags. From what I've heard, the one at the VFW is already completely full of flags, which is really great. I'm really happy about that. But I want to thank Universal City for really supporting me with it. Thank you to Mr. Maxwell for supporting me with it, and thank you to Mr. Goolsby. He is my beneficiary, so he supported me on it. He helped me through some of the paperwork. But yeah, if you have any worn or tattered flags, those 2 are there for you.
Stay right there for a second, please. The purpose of the flag disposal is for the proper disposal of used flags. And there's a ceremony that's accomplished a couple, 3, 4 times a year. And I'd like to recognize Vice Commander Post of our VFW post, Paul Inks, is here representing the VFW tonight and everything else. I was at the VFW today, and The container is totally full, and there's probably about 200 flags on the outside of it waiting, because it's just overflowed. There's over 300 flags over there that we use waiting for the disposal, and that's just in the last few weeks. But I have one other thing, and I'm going to ask Councilmember Goolsby to accompany me down below, and with citation, or certificate, I should say. There was the very first Scoutmaster, I do believe. Cubmaster.
He wasn't even a scout yet.
So I think it's really kind of appropriate, but.
It's a bear cub.
You sit in the back.
This is from the City of Universal City, the Office of the Mayor, Certificate of Authenticity for this Key to the City of Universal City, Texas, awarded to Eagle Scout Scott Evan Avery in recognition of his tremendous history of service, leadership, and outstanding achievement. This is granted under the seal of the City of Universal City by the Office of the Mayor of Universal City on this 19th day of August, 2025.
Thank you.
I wasn't a Boy Scout. He was a Cub Scout.
It's a bear cub.
A lot goes into earning the Eagle rank, and it's the highest rank in the Eagle Scout, or in the scouting. It's quite an honor to achieve that rank. And congratulations, and I look forward to, I guess, a well-earned senior year.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And next we'll go into council member announcements. Mr. Shelby, you started tonight. You had vacation, so.
I know we beat this horse, or I beat this horse a little bit. I'm going to beat it one more time. I think the other thing we talk about increases. I think it's my thoughts when we talk about increases in rates and taxes and all that is that I know most of us have been here when we have an outside organization, CCMA, saw Sarah, and they come in and they go, oops, we messed up. We need to raise your rates 30, 40% over the next 2 years, or we're going to go insolvent. And I think that I want to recognize the fact that the city has made the tax decreases work over the years. I think that's commendable. I think it's commendable that the council has been able to do those decreases. But I also want to avoid the oops conversation going forward. And the best that we can do that is we continue to try and make the money that we have work the best we can. And we also accept that there will be times where we have to increase, and we try to keep that increase as nominal as possible. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vaughan?
I did use your box on Saturday, thank you. I was desperate for a place to go, so I didn't know where to go. Can I ask a question though? I didn't know if I'm supposed to fold it properly before I put it in the box. Was I not gonna get in trouble if I just kind of wad them up and?
No. Plenty of people I've seen that just put them in bags. There is a proper way to fold them up, but ultimately, when they get put in the box, they will get shuffled around.
Okay, so I ran in and ran out, so nobody would see that I had it. But thank you for the box.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
I was just going to say thank you. Your project is much appreciated, and congratulations on being a senior. You're going to do great things. I was going to also just comment on each year. This is such a significant time when we sit and talk about the budget and the tax rate, and thinking about what's good for our community, and looking at how are we going to. We talk consistently about cutting taxes, but I think Mayor's point of supporting the projects that are going to bring in more retail revenue is the only way we're going to have a sustainable ability to keep our taxes low. And we have to be focusing on that long-term vision. And one of those tools that is bringing people into our community is the golf course. And we need to consider making that our gem of our community. That's how we market our community.
You mean funded still?
Sorry, not
Oh,
allowed.
I apologize, sorry. We will continue to focus on the aviation project and the reunion project, which I think are really going to be our shining stars going forward. That's all.
Thank you very much. Mr. Goolsby?
No, thanks, sir. So it was a great, I was super excited when I found out about what we were doing tonight with Evan showing up, because I remember this little bitty guy. He was one of the, sorry, brother, he was one of the cutest Cub Scouts we had. He was just this cute little guy and just so excited and had a great time doing everything. I remember one of the first flag ceremonies with his group, and to see what he did with this, it was just incredible. And then again, just the honor I felt whenever he called me, said, "Hey, would you like to?" And you got whatever you want, and it was huge for me. So Evan, thank you for that, and thank you for what you did. I mean, because I drove around for 2 years with folded up flags in the back of my back pocket of my truck, because I didn't know what to do with them. Figured it out with Scouts, but now I don't have to worry about it. I was so excited. Did the roundabout today. I didn't know it was opening, but I knew it was coming soon because it was like nothing was happening. So I was almost late.
You must have been chasing Michael, because that's what he was doing.
Due to stuff happening at the house with new floors and stuff, we ended up spending 2 evenings at the hotel over there, and what a beautiful view of the golf course it has. I'm telling you, it was amazing. I had not stayed at the hotel because I have a house here, but we stayed at the hotel, and I was very impressed. It's a great group of people. Michael, you and I are going to talk. We've got some ideas. And then for the golf course, it would be really cool if you could actually put some lights out on the golf course further in for the view at night. It would be amazing. But then the other thing, I know we're talking about taxes and all that. So people for years have said, we want lower taxes. I mean, my wife tells me that all the time. Yes, dear. So in order to lower taxes, I need to increase sales tax. Or we need to cut services. Well, we finally got the splash pad. We all have all these activities now, all the stuff that the people have also asked for, is that we have something to do. Let's make Universal City. So there's not a whole lot to cut. You can always cut. You can cut to the quick if you have to. That's not where we're headed with this. So in order to lower taxes, we need to increase our businesses. We increase our businesses, they want more houses. You get more houses, you get more traffic. You get more traffic, you get more complaints. I need everybody to understand that it's not a perfect world. There's going to be people all over that are going to be mad about something. I think we've got a great solution where we're at. I'm excited about this year. Again, I liked all the zeros at the end of that. That made me super happy. And I'm done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rubal.
Yes, sir. First of all, I think I recognize this gentleman also from the volunteer dinner. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just a quick question to you. What volunteer services did you also provide for the city?
I volunteer regularly during the summer with my girlfriend at the UC Animal Care and Control.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. I'm sure I recognized you. Yeah, great. Mr. Mayor, just one item, and I'm going to definitely agree with Mr. Shelby. Make your money work the best way we can. Therefore, Mr. Mayor, I move the following. I move for the reduction of the venue tax rate authorized by the City of Universal City from the rate of 0.5% to the rate of 1/8 of 1%, and the adoption of local sales tax and use in the City of Universal City at the rate of 3/8 of 1% to provide revenue for maintenance and repair of municipal streets. And basically, I'm asking for council to second that motion, and that way we can move money into the general fund and allow it to be distributed to needs of the city and protect the golf course to the tune of over $500,000 per year. That's what this proposal did.
So is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second?
I would second that for agenda item.
So you want it as an agenda item, or you want it as a?
We can't act on it tonight, it would just be a proposal for the future.
Can't act on it tonight, it's not an action item, you're just doing the council member announcements.
Yeah.
Although if Mr. Rubal wants to wait and I
That's what I was
guess
gonna
we
tell you.
could make that on the record vote of the 2025 tax rate. And that'd be the
When we
only
get into
place
the taxing
we could do
area,
that.
make that proposal at that point in time. It's kind of premature.
If he's requesting just to have it on the agenda, that can be done now, but if he's actually asking us
Is that what
to
you're
do
asking
that,
me to do?
this is
I'm
laying
asking
out
for it to be
time.
put on the agenda because
Future agenda?
a
Okay,
future
my
agenda.
my apologies, I will accept that then.
And we'll need that in writing, thank you. If you want to get all of that.
We've got it in writing right here.
This is a discussion item.
Discussion
on future
item,
agendas.
discussion on future.
Can we start with the discussion and then move that to something solid to vote on?
Yes, sir.
So, any discussion? I'll call for a vote.
Councilmember Rubal,
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby,
Aye.
Councilmember Putt,
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby,
Aye.
motion carried.
You got one, Byrd.
Can we get a medic up here for Mr. Byrd?
You know you don't have to hold your breath past the fourth vote.
Ms. Putt? The time, you want to bring us home?
Oh, yes, let's bring it home. Evan, I've known you since kindergarten, I think. You've been amazing going into your senior year. I want everyone to know he's a TV star. I saw the back of his head. He was in a crowd on, what was it? 19. I love that show too. He sings, he's an actor, he's a great human being, he's a wonderful son, and you are an amazing volunteer down at the animal shelter. And people who say kids are rotten don't know you. You're amazing. I'm so proud of you. And I know your parents are absolutely dying of this. So congratulations. Your faux aunt is beside herself over this. So we just love it. Great discussions. I think really don't have a lot to say. Everything's been said. So let's move on.
Okay. Just on the volunteering bit, Evans comes from a volunteering family. His mom and dad have volunteered for the last 20 years that I know of.
Yeah.
In that area. So that being said, let's move on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under the items considered to be routine by City Council will be enacted in one motion. There has been request to remove item number F, so that one will be voted on separately. Move for a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby,
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Councilmember Putt,
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal,
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item F, the resolution number 980B 2025. Resolution of the City of Universal City authorizing the purchase of real property located at 104 East Lindbergh, Universal City Avenue, Universal City, Texas, by the Universal City Economic Development Corporation for projects of new or expanded business development. That has been requested to come off by Mr. Vaughan. Do you have any discussion or anything on that one?
No, separate vote.
Okay, call for the vote.
Move for, we need to move for.
Yes.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby,
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Councilmember Putt,
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal,
No.
Councilmember Vaughan.
No.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. Action items. Item A, record vote on the 2025 tax rate and scheduled public hearings. Call for
Before you vote to set the tax rate, that goes into the newspaper. And then we'll also schedule the second public hearings, which will be on the September 2nd. And at that time, you'll be doing your final votes for the budget and the tax rate. And the tax rate that has been proposed is 0.530000.
Call for motion.
Do we need to read the whole thing off like we've done in the past?
It would be helpful.
There's no attachment.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion that we approve a maintenance and operation rate of 0.442 and a debt service rate of 0.088 for a 0.530000 total tax rate.
Second. Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Quick discussion.
Sorry.
It doesn't sound like we have a consensus for this, but I want to try anyway. I would like to adopt a rate that would be the same on everybody that's existing, and then we just get the new properties based on the math that Ms. Green has given to us. I think that would be a reduction in the rate of 3/4 of a penny. So that would be, I'd like to amend the motion for the M&O rate of 0.4345 for a total rate of 0.5225.
Can you repeat that?
Sure.
Sorry.
It would be
to,
an M&O rate of 0.4345, keeping the INS rate the same that was proposed for a total rate of 0.5225.
So to do that, just so you understand dollar-wise, thank you for that. That would mean that when it comes time for your budget, you need to cut approximately $150,000 from your budget.
Which
so
could
we
be
need to have the discussion on where that's going to happen.
Which could be additional venue tax or reducing the fire truck transfer or a combination of the two. So it wouldn't be cut to services, it would just be maybe increasing the risk that we have to take a loan for the fire trucks, which I think is a good idea anyway, or bringing in just a little bit more venue tax to offset that. But not here second, so yes.
Second.
So we need to vote on the, that
You're
second.
taking the vote now on, if there's no further amendments, you're taking the amendment vote first,
Yes.
which is to reduce the total tax rate to 0.5225.
So call for the vote.
Councilmember Vaughan,
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick,
No.
Councilmember Goolsby,
I'm not gonna keep too many cans down the road too far, no.
Councilmember Putt,
No.
Councilmember Shelby.
No.
Motion failed.
Now, Mayor, you're
Now for
voting
the,
on the main motion now.
Now for the main motion, it is number 4. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Goolsby,
Aye.
was Councilmember Shelby the second?
Correct.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelby,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Councilmember Putt,
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal,
Nay.
Councilmember Vaughan.
No.
Motion carried.
Ordinance 544C 2025 purchase policy.
Thank you, Mayor. This does require 2 readings. As you know, at one time, the state legislature was in session. When they did pass a few items of importance to us. And one of them is, which we've been seeking for many years, is that they increase the purchasing level before you have to go to RFP from 50,000 to 100,000. The actual proposal was originally for 200,000. The compromise between the 2 houses was 100,000, and that did approve. It's effective September 1st. So we are revising our purchase policy to comport with state law.
Call for motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes.
Yes.
Just one clarification, I think I brought this up last time, but on the section 5.10 talks about the co-ops, and it basically just defines them, but then it doesn't say in 5.4 that you can use co-ops. So if you read it real like a stickler, you would say you can't use co-ops. I don't think that's what your intention is. So you might on the second reading in 5.4 like put a kicker sentence to say if you have to bid it out unless we find a valid co-op contract or something like that.
We can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 5.3, essentially with purchases greater than $100,000, the word aggregate is in there. So it suggests that under what time frame is that aggregate decided? So if that makes sense. So for example, if we go out for police vehicles, 2 vehicles are over $100,000, an aggregate over $100,000. Type thing, 1 would not be, but 2 in the same year would be type thing. Does that have any sense? So what does the word aggregate mean in 5.3?
So let's say we're going to do a building project. I'll just say that. So we know that it's going to be over 100,000, so we split it up into multiple projects. And they all end up being the same vendor. That's still an aggregate of $100,000. If you're going to split a project up, it really has to be 3 separate vendors.
So essentially then you interpret that to be it would mean it would have to be have a competitive quote and sealed bids. Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay,
Yes.
Thank you for that clarification.
Any other questions, comments? Call for the vote.
I'm sorry, who made the motion first? Thank you. Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Item C, Resolution 966, 2025-3, EDC Storefront Improvement Program for Synergy Refrigeration at 848 West Byrd Boulevard.
Thank you, Mayor. Mike will give you a presentation on this. If you don't know where 848 West Boulevard is, that is in the North Lake Business Park at the corner of West Byrd and Universal City Boulevard. By the way, that is the very first tract of land that the EDC sold in the North Lake Business Park maybe 15 or 16 years ago.
Mayor Council, sorry.
Go ahead.
848 West Byrd Boulevard. So as we put in our staff memo to the EDC last week, essentially an existing company that has a very large lot. They plan on adding 2 additional buildings. Right now, phase 2 is an additional 6,500 square foot building that they'd like to add. As part of the plan review for that, Fire has classified the building that's being proposed as an F1 factory industrial, and by the amendment in our fire code, they would be required to sprinkler and provide a fire alarm system for that building. And that is solely due to the amendment that we have in our code. The code itself, without the amendment, requires any buildings that are above 2,000 square feet. So essentially, they came to the EDC to ask for some assistance on the additional costs that the IFC amendment has caused. And the EDC did recommend approval of the full amount of about $314,000. So let me break down a little further to explain what the costs really are. So because they have to put in fire suppression, they need to extend the fire line. So the fire hydrant is across the street on Byrd at the corner of UC Boulevard and Byrd. So they have to extend that line, go across the street, underneath the street, extend it to the building, and then they're going to punch out for the future phase 3 addition. That cost itself is approximately $107,000. The extension between fire buildings 2 and future building 3 is about $63,000. And the installation of the fire alarm system is about $26,000. The suppression system is about $79,000. And then there's some overhead and profit costs that are involved as well as landscaping costs. So that comes to $314,000.
How much?
$314,000.
Thank you.
Mr. Bond.
Yes, sir.
Would there be a cheaper way of maybe just exempting them from these rules? I mean, I guess, I don't know if that's even, I didn't quite catch it from you. Is it the ICC that's the rule that's causing this, or is it our rules that's causing on top of
the
ICC?
city's amendment to the IFC.
Okay, that would be an easy fix that I would like to see. I guess, what is the benefit of this additional property to the city? Like, do we have any estimate on what kind of property tax this might generate?
Sure, so they didn't have an exact number, but we did ask them to provide some of the benefits. Obviously, it's retention of an existing business and expansion, which is good from an economic development standpoint. They have currently 18 employees that would be adding approximately 6 to 9 additional employees, and obviously those employees, whether it's shift work or not, would be spending money hopefully on lunch and dinner, whatever it is, in town. And then the increase in property values, we don't know what that would come to exactly, but it would have an increase in property values. They approximate, I think it would double the existing value. So those are the reasons that they provided.
Do we know what the tax
I don't have
levy would be on
have
that?
that number in front of me.
I'll let it be. I'll speak
Sure.
on it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, so I want to make sure I followed you on this. So this is the storefront program, which is normally driven towards retail businesses, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And are they a retail business, or are they what?
So the storefront, if I could just step back, the storefront program is a little misleading in some cases. It's basically our coverall for any economic assistance that we provide to businesses. So the majority of those businesses that come before you are looking for smaller improvements, signage, some of the facades in our building. But we have, as you know, in the past, granted a much larger dollar amount to business expansion. For example, the old super doors a few years ago, they came before you. That's not really a storefront improvement, that's a complete renovation of an existing large warehouse building. So that's been very successful. There have been some others over the years.
Yeah, so their real property, because they were machine heavy, is 1.1 million. The building itself is 1.6 million.
So together it's 2.6?
So together it would be 2.7 million.
They're saying it might
Their
double
real
it.
property and their building.
And so to put it in additional perspective, as Ms. Fitzpatrick pointed out at the EDC meeting, if they're spending about $2.2 million and the request is for $314,000, that is somewhere between 10 and 17%, I believe. So it's not the full amount of the total investment by this company.
Okay, that was the number I was missing. I either didn't hear you say it. So can you say it a little bit louder? How much money are they spending?
So the overall investment for this project would be $2.2 million approximately.
And they're asking us for 314,000.
Correct.
So
Over 10% of their project.
they have to, and just to re-clarify, just like every other one they've done, they're going to spend all of the money, and then once they're completed, we will reimburse them.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And so in the past, the EDC has granted between 10 and 50%.
I've seen 50 before.
Mayor Pro Tem?
You also mentioned a third phase. I think they said, like, this one you said was going to be 6,000, and if I remember correctly, the next one was going to be even a larger facility, like 9,000?
Slightly larger.
Yeah.
That's their plan at this point.
So their plan is really to make a footprint here in Universal City, which I also think is important to know.
And I'll back up. When we originally did all of the covenants for the North Lake Business Park, the minimum acreage you could buy was 1 acre. And this is the reason why, because we were anticipating that those businesses out there would grow. And when they grow, we want them to grow in our city rather than being landlocked and having to go outside the city to one of our neighboring cities because they need more space. So I think this is a good project by the Economic Development Corporation, and that they planned for this to happen in multiple locations in the North Lake Business Park. And the fact that Synergy is looking to stay and grow where they are currently located is a benefit for the city overall.
The proposed fire line extension, as Randy just whispered in my ear, would cover both buildings, the current building that's being proposed as well as phase 3.
Any other questions? Mr. Byrd?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do you know perchance the net value that the business generates per year? Business value, I mean, we're talking 18 employees currently, expanding to 27 employees. My research into this group is that they are consultants, essentially installers of commercial air conditioning and follow-on maintenance for commercial air conditioning. So they have a whole spectrum of fairly high-paying jobs. I don't know what the bottom line job is there, but if we're talking about adding another 9 good salaries in Universal City to the 18 that exists now, the only curiosity I would have is essentially what their economics look like. I definitely would be for this type of development within that district in particular.
Yeah, we did request data such as that, but they did not provide it. I did not believe that they're a publicly traded company, so we could not find the data out.
Any other questions? Spot.
Just one more comment to button it up. So then that means they're probably going to pay, if they have a new building of 1.6 million, that'd be about 8,600 a year that they kick in property tax. So it'd take us about 36 years to get our money back. Now, if there's additional salaries that help sales tax, that would also obviously factor that in. But I think it's a little bit outsized. The grant is a little bit outsized of what the city is getting in benefits. And so I know, I mean, we can't go to every business and give them a grant just because they're going to expand or improve things. So I think we have to kind of look at, if we're going to give them a grant, we should be tying it to what they're going to return to us. And maybe we could do it as an abatement over that time frame, where we would give them the $313,000, you give them all their property tax back on the improvements for 20 years, let's say, and if they stay, they get it, and if they leave or go under, then they don't get the rest of it. Because what's going to happen is something like the super doors, where we have them put this infrastructure in, they go under in 10 years and they leave, and then we're proposed to do this again for some new tenant that says this building's out of date and it's no good anymore, so we had to revamp it, which is exactly what happened with the super doors building, and then we didn't really get the value of the original investment. So for that reason, I don't think I can approve the deal as it's structured here. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Interesting. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get a motion, that's right.
Move to approve.
My apologies.
Second.
Call. Any additional discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan?
No.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And at 7:48, we are adjourned. Thank you.
You gonna go have a seat?
You're going to go.
The picnic?